President Tinubu advocates cooperation to tackle climate change and build sustainable resilience for future generations. (2025) Budget Defense. House of Representatives rejects capital proposal for Ministry of Information and National Orientation, describes provisions as inadequate. And Navy troops raid Sea Pirates hideout in Bayelsa State to rid Nigeria's maritime domain of all nefarious elements. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on NTN News 24. I am Chinenye Mwe. We start from Gulf region, where President Bola Tinubu is advocating a more purposeful global commitment and partnership toward addressing climate change challenges and build a sustainable future for generations to come. The Nigerian leader addressed the high-level session of the ongoing 2025 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, holding in the capital of the United Arab Emirates, UAE. State House correspondent Musbau Dan Wahab reports.
It was the turn of the global leaders on this platform to renew commitments in protecting the global ecosystems. The dynamics and realities of climate change demand greater intentionality. It is an existential issue for humanity. The founding fathers of the United Arab Emirates have explored and demonstrated possibilities and are driving the mandate through international collaboration to supercharge sustainable progress across the world.
Your Excellency, the stage is yours.
President Bola Tinubu led in the day to take the stage. He would address the gathering on climate imperatives to economic prosperity, bringing Africa into the future of global energy.
We face serious challenges, environmental challenges including deforestation, desertification, coastal erosion, flooding, pollution, and many other negative impacts of climate change. Lake Chad continues to shrink every year. Livelihood of people continue to be threatened.
President Tinubu recounted Nigeria's efforts at ensuring climate resilience, including his administration's drives on CNG and other initiatives at transiting to cleaner energy. But he acknowledged the enormity of a climate change manifestation in Africa, which he said requires greater international partnership.
To promote a green economy in Africa, we must focus on integrating sustainable practices in all sectors of our economy. These investments are capital intensive in nature, and it required international support from partner countries, including multinational organizations.
Our aspirations for sustainable and inclusive blue economy are not just for ourselves, they are for the generations to come and for a healthier planet.
The future of energy transition and digitization will thus depend on our ability to strike a balance between sustainability and innovation. We need a device-balanced energy mix based on the technologies we have in place, those we are experimenting with and those yet to identify.
While advancing care for the earth through technological progress, the summit is equally aiming at unlocking a potential $10 trillion economic transformation opportunity therein. In Abu Dhabi, Musbau and Wahab, NT News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Labor has asked the National Directorate of Employment to increase the amount of monthly stipends paid to beneficiaries of its various training and apprenticeship programs nationwide. This was when the management of the NDE, led by the Director General Silas Ali Agara, appeared before the House Committee to defend its 2025 budget estimates. The DG told lawmakers that approval is being expected from the Salaries and Wages Commission to increase monthly vocational training stipends to 50,000 naira per apprentice to 50,000 naira.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. 100%. The proposal we have been submitted to. Our recommendation has been submitted to the appropriate offices for approval. Who are the offices? We went to the Salaries and Wages. That's we got the.
If you have any issues,
no, they 100% agree with our.
If you have any issue with them, let us know. Because the salary is under this committee.
Yeah, Salaries and Wages have approved and sent the recommendation to the Office of the Secretary to the Government. The SDM office have approved and sent to the Office of the Minister of Finance, which is the last bus stop. We are still hoping that we will get the approval from the Minister of Finance.
President Bola Tinubu commends the Nigerian Armed Forces for their dedication and commitment in the protection of the nation's territorial integrity and internal security. In his message marking the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebrations, the president says he recognizes the gallantry of troops and the fight against insurgency, while promising to continue equipping the Nigerian military with necessary resources to effectively combat insecurity. Similarly, the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Army Staff enjoined troops to strive for excellence, professionalism, and embrace interagency collaboration as the fight against insurgency heightens. Meanwhile, it was a sight to behold at the National Arcade, Abuja. Vice President Kashim Shettima stood in for President Tinubu to mark the 2025 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports that the file passed and laying of wreaths by top government officials was the climax.
Vice President Kashim Shettima arrives at the National Arcade to honor the legacy of the fallen heroes who paid the ultimate sacrifice to ensure peace and security, then celebrating the living legends. Prayers were offered for the repose of the souls of the deceased and for continued peace and security to prevail in the country.
And grant them the fortitude to stay strong and find solace in you. Bless our country, Nigeria, and unite us together. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Common good of all. Lord, do not mark their guilt. Bring them and all the departed into the light of your presence.
Laying of wreath led by Vice President Kashim Shettima, Senate President and the Speaker, House of Representatives, Chief Justice of the Federation, Ministers, Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs, and the Inspector General of Police, among others. Firing of 3 volleys by the firing party and the release of pigeons mark the end of the Remembrance Day, rounding the event off with national salutes.
Presidential permission has been sought and graciously granted.
Though brief, less than an hour, but memories will last long. In Abuja, Abdulrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
In the meantime, Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas is seeking more support for the Nigerian Armed Forces in their efforts to ensure the safety of lives and property in the country. In a message to mark this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day, Speaker Abbas pledges synergy among various arms of government to strengthen the armed forces for the unity and prosperity of the country. He says there cannot be economic growth and stability without the safety of lives and investments. Hence, security should be treated as a collective responsibility of all citizens and not government agencies alone. The Speaker also promises that the 10th House will continue to prioritize security and safety of all Nigerians, as well as better welfare packages for the families of fallen heroes. And still on the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, concerned persons are seeking deliberate policies that will create the desired motivation for military personnel in Nigeria while still alive. They believe this is key to getting the best of them for service and national security. This was part of submissions by military veterans on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria while celebrating Nigeria's heroes and analyzing the contributions of the armed forces to national security and growth. Olusheye Adeabo reports.
I had a case of 70, 75 years old woman, no child, no husband.
Morenike Henry served in the Nigerian army for 18 years.
Not knowing that when she was serving, she don't even know that time was going. You understand? Because all is just to put her best into whatever she's doing.
She is explaining what it means to be a female soldier, and now, as the National Coordinator, Female Veterans Association, she believes more involvement of the private sector.
I serve in veteran office in UK. It's not left for the government alone. We have agencies that comes to help them, especially the old age, the old ones.
For the other guests who were also in the military, their vocation presents an opportunity to serve and honor the nation, but also requires the support of Nigerians.
We need to move with the technology, move with the combat culture that is evolving, and then equip them accordingly to match that, if not surpass it.
It's important that we imbibe the culture of accountability. If resources are allocated, if resources are earmarked for something, we have to ensure that it's used for that.
The guests who appreciated various initiatives of the current administration to make life better for servicemen and women were, however, unanimous in their plea for enhanced welfare for members of the armed forces. In Abuja, Olusheye Adeabo, NTA News.
You're watching the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We'll take a break here. We'll have more reports when we return. Do stay.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary health care center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Many thanks for staying on. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has this Wednesday appeared before the House of Representatives Committee on Information defending the budgetary proposals of 8.9 billion naira. During the interactive session on the performance and projection of 2025 proposals, the minister highlights what the ministry has achieved in terms of value orientation for Nigerians, policies and programs of government, as well as projecting the image of the country around the world. While members of the committee appreciated the good work of the ministry, they, however, described the 2025 budget proposal as inadequate. We'll bring you details of this report in our subsequent bulletin. The suspect standing trials at the Federal High Court, Lokoja, over alleged vandalism of NTA AMPA facilities has pleaded guilty to charges leveled against him. Jonathan Omajeli reports that the suspect made the plea at the second hearing of the case.
The defendant was arraigned on November 19, 2024 at the Federal High Court on a 3-count charge bordering on conveying a large quantity of armored cables unlawfully disconnected, removed and intentionally vandalized from a transformer used by NTA AMPA for transmission, as well as unlawful meddling and tampering with electric fittings used by the station. The defendant initially pleaded not guilty to all charges. During the latest hearing, however, the proceedings were brief as the defendant changed his plea to guilty on all counts when the charges were read.
There's a twist that the defendant, having had remorse of what he did, he decided to change his plea from not guilty to guilty. Of course, it's acceptable in law that at any point in time that the defendant feel that he could change his plea, he's obliged to do that. So today he decided to change his plea. The 3-count charges were still read back to him, and he now pleaded guilty to the 3-count charges.
The proceeding went well. It was brief. The defendant pleaded guilty to the charge, and the case has been adjourned for review of facts. So we'll come back at the next adjournment and see how it goes.
The presiding judge, Honorable Justice Issa Dashen of the Kogi State Federal High Court, adjourned the case to January 30 for a review of the facts. The defendant was ordered to be remanded in a correctional facility until then. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC. The initiative is designed to protect Nigerians from exploitative practices in the telecommunications sector. Olayinka Ojo reports.
The aim of fostering economic growth through regulatory collaborations, enhance market efficiency, and prioritizing consumer welfare, the Memorandum of Understanding is said to be long overdue. For the FCCPC boss, the partnership will create a sustainable telecommunications sector that contributes significantly to Nigeria's economic development and also reduce regulatory conflicts while improving consumer welfare.
This highlights the importance of Section 105 of the FCCPC Act 2018, which explicitly provides for cooperation and collaboration between the FCCPC and other sector regulators. This synergy is critical to ensuring comprehensive oversight and consumer protection without regulatory conflicts or duplications.
And in an age of rapid technological innovation, the MOU, according to NCC Executive Vice Chairman, provides clarity and ensures a level playing field while protecting consumers who depend on accessible and reliable communication services, described as a testament of the shared vision of fostering a transparent, competitive, and consumer-focused telecommunications industry that will make life easier for the generality of consumers. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
As against the price hikes witnessed during the Christmas and New Year holiday season, food prices have dropped significantly in some marketplaces in Abuja, offering relief to consumers. Suleiman Abdul Wahab reports that during the Yuletide, many food items, particularly proteins like meat, fish, eggs, and perishable goods such as tomatoes and peppers, saw inflated prices due to increased demand.
Every commodity we have in Nigeria, both pencil, biro, and everything, should have a price in the constitution. So you can't wake up as an individual of yourself to tell me this thing has changed price overnight.
This is Gariki New Market. We are here to find out the price of food items after the Yuletide and New Year.
Tubu is 1,000. It's 1,000 we are selling now. But during December time, we used to sell 115.
Hawkers claim that market sellers often do not lower the prices once they go up, especially during the festive period.
And tomatoes will start from the Sambo. Sambo is 3.5. The tomato is 2.5. But if you read the market, I will tell you it's something 4,000. Let's go to second the tomato here. This tomato, we call it Baje tomato. We normally sell it this one. We normally sell it 4.5. In market, their own will be more harder. As you can see the Shombo, see the Tetasei, and see the onions now. The onions is very cost in the market now. Here we normally sell it in the cheap price.
With seasonal demand and supply chain stabilizing, the prices of some food items are now returning to normal.
So now there's availability of the onions in the market. So the price has now reduced. And we are even believing, what we are trusting God, maybe before next week, the price will keep dropping. The price keep dropping.
Now the thing don't come down small, and I think to say the thing will still come down.
Some people, they are purposely doing it, of increasing the price, because maybe when you go to another market, it's not what they are selling there, they are selling here.
Shoppers have reported seeing lower costs for staples such as vegetables, chickens, and eggs, while prices of many other products like meat and yams are still not predictable.
Since November, or even as far back as early October, I started buying at 6,000, so I'm surprised it's now 6,500.
Where the travelers now come back, I believe it will go to 7,000.
We cannot sell it for you unless if you are buying 100 or 50. If it is 100, we will sell for you, or you go for 50 pieces. But we are not selling 1 for now.
It has come as if it's a tradition. Anything that goes up in this country, before it will come down, I think the government have to do something serious bargaining about it. Normally, some people, they want it in the first way. So if the government can organize a group of people or a committee that will go around, or a task force that will go around and checkmate the prices of things, I think it will be better for us. Because everybody is saying fuel, fuel, fuel. And even when the fuel come down, the same thing that you buy in the market, that's the same thing that they will sell.
Additionally, fuel prices coming down from more than 1,000 naira per litre to less than 1,000. Experts suggest that food prices may continue to decrease in the coming weeks if the price of fuel continues to drop. In Abuja, Suleiman Tobu Abdul Wahab, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Chinenye Mwe.